What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video I'm really excited about because today we are going to paint the body kit, the Aero / Viggen body kit. So I'm super excited to get some color or some paint on this to see how it looks when it's done, together with the carbon fiber and everything. But I'm also super curious and nervous about how this is going to turn out, because this is the first time I'm going to paint with a spray gun and together with my compressor. That's a really small tank on. So let's see how all this work out. I'm just going to show you the products that I'm using. So all the products that I'm using are from bilfärg.se. It's a store in Sweden, an online store where you can order paint. You just type in your registration number on your car and the color code, and they pick out the correct color you need, and it's super fast shipping, and everything is like premium and really nice packaging and everything. So the first thing we are going to do is use a filler primer that will fill in some small scratches and stuff like that has been from the sanding, and also maybe some other damages that has been previous. So we have a thinner, a hardener, and the filler primer. So, and some mixing cups and some filters. So everything is provided when you order these kits, and also some tack rags. So here's the filler primer, then we have the metallic paint, the pearl paint, and then we have some clear coat and hardener for that. So, and I'm using two types of spray guns. This is like one of these modern, I don't know what it's called, but it's like you are using a lot less pressure, so it's low pressure, high volume, I think. And I will see how that works. And I also have a older one. This one I'm going to use for the primer, and this one I'm going to use for the paint and the clear coat, or the base coat and the clear coat. So I have taped off the door on the garage to do some test spraying before I paint. I have also cleaned off everything here with some acetone first, and then some tack rag, so the surface is as clean as it could get, no dust or whatsoever. And I have masked off all the parts that I don't want to have paint on. See, the carbon fiber is masked off. I left a couple of millimeters so it goes into the carbon, so you get a super nice edge. I hope that this turns out the way I planned. You don't want to have dust in the paint, so, but you also don't want to have it too moisturized in the garage when you paint. Otherwise you can just wet the floor. That will stop some of the dust from the floor. I have cleaned off the floors a little bit before, and the primer is going to go on, and then it's going to cure or dry for like 4 hours. So I will just put on the primer tonight, and then I will wait until tomorrow, and then I will sand down the primer, since it's a filler primer, so we get a really nice surface to paint on. So since this is the first time I'm doing this, I won't be doing a how-to video. I'm gonna mix up the the filler primer, and then I'm going to start paint. I'm gonna let the camera roll and see how it turns out. So I have let the primer fully cure overnight, and the result, I would say, is really nice. The only thing I noticed is that I could have done a better preparation with the equipment, because the spray gun I was using had a 1.5 nozzle, and the recommended for this primer was 1.8 to 2.5. So the primer was a little bit thick, so I had to compensate it with adding some more pressure, and therefore I got this pretty uneven result, or what you should say is like some type of orange peel. I don't know how flat this filler primer gets, but it fulfilled its purpose at least, so no scratches or anything. So now the recommended is to wet sand it with 500 grit up to 800 grit, so I'm going to use a 600 grit. And as you saw, I removed the masking here because I want as little edge as possible here. So I'm going to wet sand this down so it gets pretty much flat, and then I will mask it off again. Just leave probably like 1 millimeter or so that the base coat will overlap, so we don't get a like white or gray edge around here. So it's just paint and then the carbon fiber. So let's start wet sanding everything. this is the final result. I have let the parts cure for about 20 hours or something like that now, and I have had a heating fan on to make the process a bit faster, and to be the first time doing this, I'm pretty happy about the result. It's a lot of orange peel in the clear coat, but that is nothing a bit of wet sanding and polishing can't handle, so that's not a big deal. And I got a couple of runs in some spots, and that's normal as well if you don't have a professional paint box and you do this every day. As I said, this is my first time. I'm gonna show you some of the defects. You can see them here. So this is just a wet sand. Even though I think it came out pretty good. So the masking is off. And the preparation work we did came out pretty nice. If you remember, there was a big damage here, it was cracked. You could hardly see it at all now. And here we did cover those lifting spots, and this is even. So the shine is pretty blurry now because of the orange peel, but once it's sanded and polished, you will get that super deep shine to it, so I'm really satisfied. And the transition here got really good as well. Can't feel it, it's not like a step over, so it's just smooth. So once this gets sanded down, it would be even more nice. If you are really picky, you could see that it's not the same level here where we fixed the hole, but who cares? You don't see it that much if you don't know it was there before. And also here where we lay down the carbon inside and outside, now after some sanding and the clear coat, it's pretty even. So that's nice. So I'm gonna let this probably sit for a couple of days so it really cures. I don't want to rush this and just pick it out and so on. I'm going to install the kit and then I'm going to wet sand and polish it, because trying to wet sand and polish it when it's here isn't the best, because you want to put some pressure on the polishing machine. So I hope you liked this series of videos and stay tuned for the next one. See you. Bye.